Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. I'm going to show you how to change your valve cover gasket on a 2001 Toyota Camry 2.2 liter. And we've got a lot of oil around the back side of this gasket, including at the end over here. So we're just going to take off this valve cover and change out the gasket. The kit also comes with new spark plug tube seals, which are under here. I'll show you those here in just a minute. And I also went ahead and grabbed just a new PCV valve just as a preventative maintenance. We're going to swap that out as well. First thing we need to do is pull off the spark plug wires. Just make sure you grab it right here at the base and just kind of wiggle side to side, and those will come out. Just be careful not to pull on the wire itself, or you'll end up damaging or breaking those, and you'll end up replacing them as well. And we can just kind of set those up out of the way over here. Now I'm going to remove the PCV hose just right here with a little hose clamp. Whoops. It's a good thing we got a new one of those, because that's not the right way to do it here. And just carefully pull out the old PCV valve and drop it down into the back of the engine. We were just planning on replacing it anyways, but you know, they do get brittle like this, so it may not be a bad idea to pick one up before you try this job. Also, this little PCV grommet, we couldn't find a replacement local. You can see here's our new one, our new PCV valve. Looks just like the old one. This one's, you can feel that little ball in there shaking around. This one, it's moving, but it's pretty dirty. So again, I'm glad that we got a new one. We'll get that changed out here. All right, next we can remove this little clamp here. Squeeze and twist that as you go. Get that breather tube out of the way. This is really brittle too, so it cracked. So we're gonna get it some new hose in there and fix that up. I'm just gonna take it off of the intake right here. Now there's 4 nuts that basically hold this valve cover on. They're 30 millimeter. And this one is really loose. Yeah, that first one was just not even hand tight. We'll set those aside. Now before you try to pull the valve cover off, there's this little clamp or this bracket right here. It's easier if you take that off. And that's just one bolt down here at the bottom, the 14 millimeter. And just take that bolt out. Just kind of lay this out of the way. I'm just going to put the bolt back in and make sure I don't lose track of it. Now to get the valve cover off, sometimes they just pop right off. Sometimes you gotta give them a tap with a mallet. Now I have not taken out these spark plug tube seals yet. I'm just going to leave them in, see if I can pull those off once I get it off. So I'm just going to give it a few taps here. There it is. Once you get it loose, there, see, pulling up on that, now these seals are popping off a little bit easier. I was having a hard time grabbing them before. They're pretty stuck on there. They've been, you can tell this has been on for a while. Now these are trash. The new kit comes with new seals. Should be able just to pull this up and off. This little wire clip right here, I'm just going to take this off. Just this front piece, and that'll give me a little bit more wiggle room up here. It's really hot still. Probably should have let it cool down. There we go. Just kind of gotta twist it a little bit as you go. Now we just need to pull out the old gasket. And it's pretty stiff. And of course it's all worn out. And then I like to use a little bit of brake clean in this channel all the way around. Clean out any gunk. This actually doesn't look too bad. Run it through. Now just line up the new gasket and just press it in place. You know, this is already molded to match the same shape as the valve cover, so it's pretty easy. Just press it firmly into that groove so that it doesn't fall out while you're putting the valve cover back in. Now you can see this little plastic piece. This is what I took off in the front. I actually just took this one off in the back too, and now you can see I've got a lot more room. So when I put this back on, it's not going to give me any trouble, and those things won't be in the way. But what you see right here, see this little bit of silicone that's left over. So that's what we're going to do right now, is just make sure we get all of that off. And right here near the this bearing cap for the camshaft as well. Now you can use a razor blade to clean this surface up here. You know, clean all this gunk off if you're careful. Just don't scratch up the surface here. This one really isn't that bad. You know, even if you look over this side, all the way along here, it's not too dirty, not too much gunk on there. But we'll get it nice and clean before we put this back together. I'm gonna see if I can pull out this little half moon piece here, because I think the other side might have been leaking. So you just grab that and pull it out, and that's what that looks like. So we'll get this all cleaned up and clean this up as well. Same with this other side here. There it goes. And you can see underneath, it looks like oil might have been seeping right through here, through this end, because it's kind of that brown color. So again, we'll get this cleaned up. You can see over here, I'm just trying to get out all of this old brittle material out of there. Really wasn't too much, other than the spots where it's supposed to be, which is on either side of this, and then on either side of the half moon. We'll get all of this cleaned up with some brake clean. I try not to spray the brake clean, you know, directly on it. I'll just spray it on the rag and then just wipe it down. Okay, so I've got the mating surfaces cleaned up, even down this little half circle here where the half moon goes, and both sides of this cam bearing cap as well. Here's the half moon. I just cleaned it up with a little bit of a wire brush. But now we're going to put some ultra black Permatex gasket maker on our half moon here before we push that in. Doesn't take a whole lot, but just make sure you get it all the way around. Just a little bead like that, and then just set it right back in where it goes, like so. When we put the valve cover back on with the gasket, it's going to press that and flatten that as well. But we do also need to do a glob right here at the joint right there of the bearing cap, about like that. And just press that in, make sure that it's fully in that little spot right there. And same with the back side. Just a nice glob. I'm going to make sure we still have enough right here at these joints. I'm going to put a little bit of excess on those, just at the either side of the half moon where it goes in place. This stuff's kind of stringy today. That'll work. Try to drop this right back down in there, like so. Yeah, it's hard to get it all the way out of this tube here. Just press it down into that seam. Same with the back side. I'm just going to put some on my glove here and smash it down in there. I'm going to put a little bit more on this end right here. Just make sure that it gets into that joint completely. That'll work. And then we'll just carefully line that up. There it goes. Just like that. And just kind of eyeball around the perimeter if you can. Make sure that that gasket is fully seated in there. Now, just want to make sure to grab the new seals here, and I'm just putting a little bit of clean new engine oil around the seal and just drop those in place. Then we can just get these nuts started by hand. Just make sure that you don't cross thread them. And again, just get these snug, and then I'm going to come back another pass and torque them down to 17 foot-pounds. There it is. There it is. Okay. Now we can put back our new PCV valve, and I'm just going to put it on the hose here first. Just press that in, and then just press it into the grommet. Just kind of rock it side to side, back and forth with some gentle pressure there. Since we didn't replace this grommet, I'm just trying to make sure that that goes in snug. Hopefully it doesn't break. That felt good. And then we can connect the other end of the hose here. Just get our clamps back on. That looks good. Now on our breather tube, when I was taking it off, it's really brittle and it ended up snapping, so I just grabbed a piece of hose about the same diameter. We'll just try to press that back on. Just might be a little tight over here on this side. You might be better off just buying the OEM. Just trying to see if I can make this work. So I'm going to put on the other end here too. That's a little bit easier. And just get those clamps back in place. Now this one, again, this is not the correct hose. I'm trying to see if I can get this on far enough to make sure that there's no vacuum leaks. Alright, and then we'll just put that clamp on there. We did get it on there and get it started. That's not gonna leak. It's not gonna cause any vacuum leaks or anything. And then we can come over here and put this, take this bolt out, and that's a 14 millimeter. And then we just need to put our spark plugs back in. You might think you need to label these, but it's pretty obvious. The shortest one is the closest. And we just need to drop those in place. Just make sure you press them all the way on till they clip onto the spark plug. Yeah, it almost like snaps in place. And the last one. And just kind of reconnecting one of these little clips that just popped out. And then remember, just this wire right here, you just line it up and snap it into place. Same with the lower portion. It's just the little plastic clips, they just snap onto the onto the bolt itself. And you're good to go. Hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. I'll put a link in the description where you can pick up this gasket and that PCV valve along with a few of the tools and parts used in the video. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck.